Good evening, 11:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, December 11th, 2022. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I wanted to do an update here as I'm up with my son. He's, as you know, he's dealing with the flu. So this is going to be the running narrative for probably the next couple of weeks. He's got a cough, no fever, but the cough is, it's no fun, but it's going to take a few weeks to pass, unfortunately. And Julie's sick. I'm a little sick, but I'm powering through it, and I still feel pretty good, all things considering. So first things first, we can see XRP drop down to roughly, what was it at, 37.5 cents? Yeah, 37.53 right now. It fell beneath this pattern that I've been talking about for the last several days, but as you can see, we pop back within it very quickly. So right now, it's just a wick, no harm, no foul. We're continuing on our way. What we want to see is to come below the 37.41 if we were to continue to the downside. Also, we can look at it in this other USD chart, two completely different charts. We got rejected here, and now this pattern, if it were to break down here and continue down the entire way and play true, like I've talked before, we'd come down to about 22.89. So that would be the playing it true out of this broken flag. So we'll see what happens there. And then on the perpetual futures chart, we are falling outside of it again, and as you can see, there's a little bit of confluency starting here, about the 37.50 level, 37.48, get a rejection here, and then come down to about the 35.80, which is the bear flag. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's becoming an increasingly important situation here. And if we look at Bitcoin, this is the apex we talked about earlier today, how we're getting close to the apex, and we had to make a decision come up here very quickly, 12th to the 13th. And we're basically the 12th right now, and we fell through. So we fell to the downside, and if this continues, we should have a pretty nice drop here in the days to come, but we've got to come back down, and it looks like with a breakdown, we would want to come retest the 16,500 area, assuming we can do it. As you can see here, on this bear flag, we rode the downtrending resistance side as resistance. We couldn't come over the top of it. This was a very important resistance line, as I've been talking about. Rejected, and eventually it's going to give out here. And this looks like it could be a double top here forming or something spectacular that could bring us way down. So we're going to see how this plays out. And if the way to reverse this would be to get some green volume. So now, to get some volume and break out, first, you've now created yourself a dual layer of support here now, or resistance, I should say. Now you're going to have to come over 17,200 approximately, and 17,500, 17,662. So it's becoming a much harder scenario here to get out of here. So we would need volume to break out of this. Otherwise, we're going to have a nice targeted move down. And the targeted move down, I have it on one of these charts. Let's see. And this would be from right here approximately. And that would be around 11,657. If it breaks down from, well, the breakdown is going to end up being somewhere in here because it would use this area right here. So it'd be around the same scenario. This has just had a little bit of a breakout. So that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin looks like if it does continue to break down any further, it could be trucking back down to the 16,400 area approximately. So that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin and XRP. I think it's only appropriate to discuss XLM real quick. XLM is still firmly within the bear flag. We've rounded ahead. Like I talked about up here, it looked like we were creating a bear flag on this head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, retest broken bull flag, and back into the bear flag firmly. All happened within an hour or two. And now it looks like we're squeezing out this pattern. And this pattern would eventually get you to 7.6. And if you break down, you'll get to 6.32. And as we can see on the USDT chart for XLM, where the hell did I put it? The perpetual futures. Now that we've broken down, a big area of support would be this downtrending support down at the 7.2. So these are areas we're looking at now because there's not much in between here at all. And then DGB. DGB came back below the pivot line, the 747, but it was only briefly, but it looks like it's created a bear flag, so I would not be surprised in the immediate short term to see DGB come down to the 719 level. That's what I see in the immediate short term for DGB. That's what it looks like to me. And then if we break the 719, that's about here, 71, 719, same vicinity. So I'd say the 719 would be in the immediate short term for DGB, assuming the market continues the way it's going. The Dow Jones futures is signifying we're down. That's delayed, so it's roughly the same. Let's see. The DXY is back open. It's up to 105.114. And we're trading within this descending triangle. No surprises here. Bounced out, came around. Looks like we're creating it looks like a little bearish W here, though. We'll see if we can get above 105.30. If we can, we'll come up here and try to get rejected at about 106.07 or potentially 106.20. If we break through here, then we could potentially come all the way back up to a retest, which we haven't had yet, on the breakdown of this pattern formation at about 110.07. So we've got a lot of ways to go. But if we break to the downside, this could create a head formation. Maybe try to come back around, but this gonna have to reverse courses here and have a bullish reversal off this descending triangle. But if we look at it real quick to see if we're bullish here in the short term, looks pretty good short term. Looks pretty good short term. Short term, it looks like we're at least coming up to 105.41. Maybe we'll retest up here again at 105.76, but the 30-minute looks pretty good. 45 looks pretty good. Had a couple bullish crosses. The 1 hour, we've had a bullish cross. We'll see. Looks like a bull flag here. Looks like we could, even if it's a bearish formation, through the grand scheme, it looks like we could come up here. It looks like we're going to come up a little bit more than DXY, which means there's further pain to come with the U.S. dollar currency index. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. And then last but not least, gold, silver. The ratio is at 76.654. So still a decent silver ratio, but I've been talking about it since it was 85 and 93 to 1, telling everybody to buy it, even before and after. So we've got that. We've got gold down about $10 at 17.87. We've got silver down about 15 cents or 0.62% to 23.301, which means commodity stocks as of right now might come down a little flat. You've got crude oil at 71.75. So let's see. This looks a little bearish here, like I've talked about for gold. Gold could turn out to be a little bearish here, as I still think in the immediate short term, gold's going to come down, and we just might have to come back down and retest some lower levels. I think it's not going to go unabated just yet, just because of what's going on in the broader markets. I do think it's going to happen a lot quicker than most think, but I still think we have one more leg down. I'm just being realistic. So this is looking pretty bearish start to gold. I still think it's got one more leg down. And that doesn't mean we have to break down below 1,700 again. I just don't think we're going up to 2,000 right now. I think we got to have some more heavier consolidation in gold and silver, because what I think is happening is the U.S. dollar currency index is not done having its break up. And as you can see here, silver's about to have a dump here. Crashing volume, rising price on this little spot here. This looks like a dump's coming in silver. It could all be lining up, because that's a rising channel as well. It could all be lining up, and a double top forming here, a topping reversal. So it could all be lining up for the DXY to be pumping here, to have a little bit of a pump here. Looks like crypto's a little bearish. Looks like the dollar's a little bullish here in the short term, immediate short term. It looks like precious metals are a little bearish here as well, at least gold and silver. And then the total crypto market cap. Big bear flag here. Big bear flag on the total crypto market cap. And it looks like this is still looking very bad. It broke outside of the ascending triangle, or better known as bear flag. And it looks like eventually here, if we break down through here, we're going to have to come all the way back down here to 737 billion. This doesn't look good here. This looks very bearish. This looks very bearish. And the 30, 45 looks bearish. We've had divergences all across the board here. All the way through the hour, we've had a bearish divergence using the MA lines. We've had bearish crosses all the way through the 2 hour. This looks very bearish. So unless we get a volume reversal and a volume spike of green, this looks very bearish. And be very, very alert. Be very, very on guard. And pay attention to what kind of information you're watching. Pay attention to who you're trusting on social media. And if you've gotten anything out of this update, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, as we're very close to 15,200 subscribers. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to show further support, you can join me on MEXC, which I very highly, strongly encourage. No spot fees, no KYC, and no VPN. And when you need to buy your XRP, here's why I suggest you do this now. Get your stuff set up and get your funds in place. And it's got 200x leverage if you want to. But there's no VPN in the USA. And when you want to buy your XRP, don't pay the spot fees. That's my biggest advice to you. Even if you want to use Uphold, send it back to Uphold via the XRP ledger. It's something I've had to teach myself over the last 18 months. You know, especially since I started doing this, was how to get cheaper spot fees, because Uphold was bending me over the railing and thrusting me through the roof. And it's no fun going from a railing to a roof, let me tell you. So you can do that, or BITGET, if you're already on there, obviously keep doing it. But if you're not in the USA, you might need to, or if you're in the USA, you may need to use a VPN. I don't need to because I was already signed up. Anybody already signed up can trade freely. And I believe they're going to not have this restriction much longer into the future. But because of regulations in the USA, they're covering their own ass. But I'm on there all the time. I love it. So they have no spot fees either. That's why I'm there. So make sure you're going on an exchange with no spot fees, and then obviously Uphold. It's my most trusted. It's Web3 enabled, and it's just got a lot of things updated for the new protocols, and it's updated for the taxes for the USA. So if you can't beat them, join them. And Uphold is one that's never not allowed me to buy XRP. So I stick and be true to them. And then also, if you want to join Tom's Army, click on XRP Future Millionaire right there. Join the other 214 people that allow me to not have to do any special advertising, no paid interest, and not paying for, you know, getting product placements and all that other mumbo jumbo bullshit. And I keep this for the people, by the people. Hashtag the FUD stops here.